Felix, you know,
What?
we share a lot of things during the year.
Too much.
We share aeroplanes, we share an office, we share accommodation.
Hopes and dreams.
We do, in the wee hours of the morning. But there's one thing we don't share.
What?
Our top 10 lists.
Bum, bum, bum. That's like a heavily guarded secret, isn't it?
It is. And this year we come to our top 10 watches of the year.
Yep.
And I have precisely no idea what's on yours.
Right.
I think we suspect that we might have some overlap. We're about to find out. I'm kicking off my top 10 watches of the year. Felix, pick a number.
I'm going to go with lucky number 7.
Number 7 is the Longines Heritage 1945.
Oh, I did not. I thought there might be Longines, but
Yeah.
why this one?
Look, I love the Navigation Big Eye, obviously. It's had a lot of airtime this year, but what really stood out to me about the 1945 was just the attention to detail and attention to the sensuality of what a watch can do. It had that textured, it's
Sensual.
let's go there.
It's pretty hot up here.
Very, very sensual tactile strap, almost like a linen vertical brushing on the dial.
Nice.
It just had, to me, a huge amount of warmth and soul to it.
Can I pick another number?
Sure.
Number 3.
Number 3 is the Audemars Piguet.
Oh.
Yes, Royal Oak, 40th anniversary of the yellow gold.
Oh, I didn't. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
For real.
I'm genuine. I'm not
Okay.
faking this surprise.
I know. Well, I want to tell you about this because this is the first Royal Oak size and shape that I saw. Obviously, from 1972 it was released, but for 5 years it wasn't in precious metals. So when it hit in that sort of late 70s in yellow gold with a blue dial, of course I was only a wee child. So look, this to me, for whatever reason, I know that most people associate the Royal Oak with steel. I see it in yellow gold with a blue dial, and it hurts me.
It's pretty killer.
It's killer.
Yellow gold never gets old.
I know. That's so you tell me in so many stories. Loved it.
Now, next up, I want to go to the top end of town. Number 10.
Look, I am not going to surprise you or anyone by saying that the Rolex Sky Dweller is 100% in my top 10. However, I want to have a little brief diversion and say how much I wanted to put the Cellini moon phase in there. I'm double dipping, but I really loved the move to have a moon phase after nearly half a century, long time. I love the asteroid dial that's going to be different on every Rolex, which is not a Rolex move, but I just couldn't in all honesty say that the Sky Dweller wasn't the biggest story and the bigger watch. It really effectively dropped the floor on annual calendar watches at that high level. It added in gold, it added in the big crown, and it just, to me, it brought that watch very much into a different sphere of ownability, accessibility.
It was a power play.
It was a massive power play, and from the industry side it was a power play, but from the consumer side it's just a massive win, and I think that, like you've said it yourself, it becomes your Rolex Grail in the short term. I absolutely love it. The big change for me is that I want black dial now, not blue. I've had a year to think about it, and I'm glad that I didn't buy the blue on impulse if I had had that chance, because I think after a year I do agree that the black is where I want to be.
And so next, I think we'll take it to the other end. So we've gone 10. Let's go back down to 1.
Look, don't read too much into this, but my number 1 watch, which is not in numerical order, just on my list, happens to be the Seiko SPB 069. Also known as the Moonlit. Look,
What a surprise!
This was such a special thing.
Yep.
You know, we were granted an allocation, which was the first time that's ever happened at Time+Tide. The reason I jumped at that opportunity was that this is just a zero risk proposition from that side of town. It's bringing this enamel craftsmanship, the fingerprints of Yokozawa. I'm wearing it today. I feel like there's a lifetime of hacks ahead of me with this watch in terms of what it can do, where it can play. It's absolutely in my top 10 because it does, like Seiko always manages to do, brings untouchable artisanship in watchmaking, mechanical watchmaking to a very accessible level at $1,850.
What's your number 2?
The Omega Speedmaster 1957 coaxial.
Right. Yep. Okay. That's a good choice. Tell me why, Andrew.
Look, I just think that the trilogy was obviously a big deal as a group, but one stood out to me in terms of the the way that this sort of classic watch has been brought to life with such sharp facets, such sharp attention to detail. Everything about this watch, I just think it's like getting new car smell from a classic car. It sort of gives you the experience of having something absolutely new and pristine, as well as 100% faithful to the past. Yeah.
You know what I want next, Andrew?
What?
Number 4.
Number 4. That is the Panerai BMG Tech.
Nice.
It did make the list.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. It reopened my conversation with Panerai. This is getting a little bit Dr. Phil here.
Wow.
But look, I have come to expect and know and love certain things about Panerai. That is weight, that is traditional materials.
Sure.
Yes, they've sort of spun off into Carbotech and other things. But
It's all about steel, isn't it?
it is. But what I found with the BMG Tech bulk metallic glass was that it offered me some fixes and it offered me a new way to experience the brand. Of course, we don't have the watch in the country yet, but what I'm looking forward to with this is that it is lighter, that it is tougher, and that it is brighter. It has really popping colorways. We've talked about it in our various other lists. It's absolutely made the top 10 for me because I think it just changes the way that we're going to be able to experience Panerai.
Next up, number 5.
Number 5, never saw this one coming. It is the Brehme Supermarine Type S301.
Okay.
I really did not expect to like a Brehme dive watch as much as I like what they're more commonly known for, which is that Martin Baker story, the aviation story. This is just an example of a brand can do anything if it does it perfectly. And this watch for me absolutely does the details perfectly. That matte bezel, I keep talking about it, but that side stitch vintage leather strap, nailed it. Would never change it. Often I look at a watch and think,
Dive watch on leather.
I know,
Bold
but
move.
this again doesn't prove that a diver needs to have legitimate dive 1,000 meters, 300 meters credentials because
it's still pretty legit though. I mean, it's like you can dive
with this. Absolutely, you can. I have no problem with the desk diver strap because this is Brehme at their strong aesthetic game. They're reading the play in terms of trends, and I absolutely wanted to take this model out of that showcase that came to the office and just sort of conveniently leave it.
Maybe they left. Maybe they forgot.
Leave it in my life.
Okay. Moving through the list at a rapid clip.
Okay.
Let's go on to number 6.
Number 6 is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Control
Yep.
Chronograph.
Oh, I thought date. I thought you'd go date.
Now, I'm going to quiz you.
Right.
Have you ever eaten a mint and then quickly had a sip of Coke straight afterwards?
Maybe.
You know, it's this achingly fresh feeling where it's just too much almost for you to take.
Okay.
I feel like that when I look at this watch. It is the crispest, cleanest, freshest watch I've seen in so many years. The colorway of the white, the blue, and also this perfect symmetry of a bicompax twin subdial configuration. Perfection.
You've forgotten one thing.
What?
No date.
Don't care. No date.
Who needs a date?
No care. Absolutely pushed away. And I believe that they did that for the reason that that me and the Angels are singing, which is this is just a perfectly symmetrical watch. And if I was to award the cleanest watch of the year, there's absolutely no contest here.
Yeah, 100%. What's up next? I think we're rapidly going on to lucky number 8.
Okay, number 8 is the Cartier Drive Extra Flats. Yes, always love the Drive. And look, the Master of Shapes really moderated things a little bit with the Drive by giving us something between a square and a cushion, and it was a
squishin.
But it was rather muscled.
You saw it. It was pretty bulky for a Cartier.
It was rounded and bulky, so it was still athletically muscular. But this one was one of those moments because the beauty of what we do is we get to try everything on. And very occasionally there is that sort of angel voice of just nailed it.
Buy this, Andrew. Exactly. Buy the watch.
It's usually Felix just doing that from the corner of the room. No, the Cartier Drive Extra Flat is masculine elegance epitomized, and I just feel like it's dress mastery from Cartier, and this is what they do.
Perfect.
Yep.
We've gone through 9 of your favourite watches of the year. What is lucky last?
Lucky last is certainly not last in my order. It's the Hublot Mecca 10 King Gold.
Ah, well done.
Thank you. This is a little unexpected, but what I found with this one, and again through photography and through seeing it again in the metal, is that it just gives you this, it draws you into the movement architecture by lightening the elements. The lighter material really allowed you to see more of that architecture.
Yeah, I really like the Mecca 10. It's an obvious choice.
And look, in a way, I think you've sort of influenced me with this one because again, it's
Mecca 10, Mecca 10, Mecca 10.
If you just keep doing it every day, I'm like, why am I thinking about the Mecca 10? No, look, Hublot, this does have, you know, lots of amazing details, like 3 power reserves, you know, just in case you need to check it from, you know, every possible angle. But it has 10 days power reserve. This is my power watch in the pack, and power is what it delivers to the wrist.
100.
I am standing with the Mecca 10. You and I are both.
Sure.
Okay, that was dramatic. I nearly upended my beer.
Excessive.
On that note, before I do, let's pop the line.
No, we've got the other video. We're gonna do my choices.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back soon.